Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness sets up one of Marvel's most famous and liked storylines in the comics, Secret Wars, which in turn will be the gateway for characters like the X-Men, Inhumans, and quite possibly the Fantastic Four to joining the main MCU timeline. If you haven't watched the movie yet, be careful for some major spoilers regarding the film. The mid-credit scene for Multiverse of Madness saw Clea appearing in front of Doctor Strange, informing him that he had caused an Incursion event and that she needed his help to stop it. If you don't know Clea, my last video explains who she is, so you can click the card you see on your screen right now and watch it once this video has concluded. So, what is an Incursion? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness explains that an incursion is when one reality crashes in another, collapsing and destroying one or both of those realities. This is exactly what happened in Sinister Strange's universe. But how does this set up Secret Wars? Well, there are two different Secret Wars events in the comics, but the more recent 2015 one happened because of an incursion. In that event, every alternate reality of the Marvel Comics universe collided. Doctor Doom brought together a jumbled puzzle of worlds out of remaining pieces of the realities, whilst Reed Richards banded together a small group of Marvel heroes on spaceships into Doom's Battleworld reality. And at the end of the event, a new mixed Marvel universe was forged together from pieces of all others. For example, Miles Morales was originally from the Ultimates universe, but he was one of the lucky characters in the multiverse outside the main 616 universe who was saved and placed into the 616 timeline. With all that being said, what does this mean for characters like the X-Men and the Inhumans joining the MCU? Well, in the Loki Season 1 finale, Sylvie killed He Who Remains, who is a variant of Kang the Conqueror. He Who Remains is the one responsible for making sure that the sacred timeline remains sacred so that no branches in reality were made. All the multiverse stuff that we have already seen in the MCU so far, in Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, happens because there's no longer any He Who Remains to control it with his TVA pruning. Due to the ending of Loki Season 1, the TVA are no longer able to prune and stop universes from colliding. The main villain from Secret Wars was of course Doctor Doom, but I think for the MCU's version of Secret Wars, they will use Kang the Conqueror instead of Doom, simply because Kang is clearly the one that's being set up as the MCU's new Thanos-level big bad. Furthermore, in Loki Season 1, it was explained that Kang's variants engaged in a multiversal war. We're led to believe that this war had already taken place and was millions of years ago, but the issue here is that time isn't linear, especially with the TVA as they exist outside of time. So what if the multiversal war that was mentioned in Loki Season 1 was actually Marvel teasing Secret Wars for a future MCU project? Secret Wars, whenever it happens, will bring different versions of characters both inside and outside of the MCU together in one movie, and that film will most likely end with different universes merging into the main MCU timeline to become one intertwined universe. I'm willing to bet that's how we get the X-Men, the Inhumans, and maybe even the Fantastic Four in the MCU smoothly and without having to break the MCU continuity that has already been established. With the MCU basically getting a soft reset after the conclusion of Secret Wars, it will allow Marvel to rewrite the history of the MCU to include X-Men, Inhumans, etc., by explaining that this is a new universe with a new history. In Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we got our first introduction to the Inhumans in the form of Black Bolt, who was a part of the Illuminati. Marvel doesn't do anything by accident, so I believe that there was a reason they included Black Bolt in this movie, and that was to tell us that they have plans to bring the Inhumans to the MCU sooner rather than later. With so much time gone by in the MCU already, it would be very lazy of Marvel to just say that they have always been there, so having the Inhumans in the MCU after Secret Wars makes perfect sense. Same goes for the X-Men as well. There are clearly no mutants in the current MCU at the moment, otherwise characters like Magneto would have popped up a long time ago. With the Fantastic Four though, they can go either way. it's pretty easy to make them already part of the MCU prior to a Secret Wars event. And besides, the Fantastic Four movie will be coming out before any major Endgame level event. So it's more than likely that the Fantastic Four will indeed be in the MCU rather than them being in a separate universe, which will then be integrated in the MCU post Secret Wars. But what do you guys think? Do you think Doctor Strange 2's mention of Incursion is a setup for Secret Wars? And do you think this is how the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Inhumans are coming into the MCU? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you like this video, give this video a big thumbs up, share the video with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys later for more videos.